I'm David Lobo, started Deejay Coconut Farms, have been in agriculture and livestock farming for the last 50 years and in coconut breeding for 38 years. I'm passionate about coconuts, its value to this world, not just to India. I would like to talk to you about the coconut tree. September 2nd is World Coconut Day. This is a very, very important day for people who really know what it means. The coconut is a very humble fruit, and very few people have understood its tremendous significance in history, in the shaping of countries and politics and industry and business. However, I want to tell you today that the coconut is coming into its own, the coconut palm is coming into its own. Every week we hear of new developments of the coconut and values from the coconut. At the seminar of this international coconut community, two important things came out. One, SAF, Sustainable Aviation Fuel. They're looking at the coconut tree as a solution. And recently we also discovered that vegan leather can be made from the spent coconut. But I also have something somber to talk about. There is a view that the oil palm is a solution for India's edible oil requirements. This was an experiment which actually was done 30 years ago in India and found not to work. The palm oil, highest producer of edible oil in the world, in Malaysia and Indonesia, but not in India, was resorted to because they didn't have any other alternative. The oil palm and the palm oil we get from it has many drawbacks. It's a single product that you get from the oil palm. The farmer really has a gun to his head. He can give that to no one else except to the factory. And he has just 3 days in which, after harvesting, to get it to the factory. The very opposite is there for coconuts. For months together, the farmer can keep it. He's got hundreds of agents and sources where he can deliver his coconuts to, and he need not even sell it if he doesn't want to. Therefore, we can see a lot of situations which are beneficial for the farmer with the coconut tree and not in his interest with the palm oil tree. And history shows its yields are lower than the coconut tree's yields of oil in India. There are solutions. 30 years ago, maybe there weren't. But today there are solutions, and that is the new hybrid coconuts which are producing much, much better, higher quantities, including oil. For the country to become self-sufficient in edible oil, which is its goal for the oil palm tree, some policy decisions have to be made. In the first place, the coconut tree should be brought under the Plantation Act. If you look at tea and coffee today, India is one of the leading producers in the world because even the small farmer can produce tea or coffee and take it to the factories and get a market for their tea and coffee. But the coconut farmer does not have this benefit because processing of coconuts is very slow in India, is trailing in the world because India has land ceilings, and it does not make it interesting for the industrialist to go in for processing the coconut when he cannot be sure of his supply. He must have coconuts in large quantities and maybe his own or plantations to supply him. So there should be no land ceiling for plantations. Another point, can state governments focus on the best coconut palm and make it better instead of all state governments producing many varieties and offering the farmer? There is a phrase in coconut farming, good is not good when the best is available, because a farmer is going to retain that crop for the rest of his life. He's going to choose it only once in his lifetime. He cannot change it after a couple of months or a couple of years. Therefore, the best should be made available to him. And the third point I would recommend is that finance, soft loans, banks and NABARD should look at how they can support this industry, even the small farmer. The gestation period of the coconut tree is long, and therefore interest keeps building up, and then the coconut farmer has a big burden to pay when his trees come into yield. That's the drawback. The benefit is that the tree continues to yield for the next 50, 60 years. Huge yields, the hybrid tree, huge yields, which really makes a lot of money for the farmer. How can this be solved? Soft loans going to the farmers, or maybe some other system which can be devised to overcome this bottleneck. If these three bottlenecks are looked after, or these three needs are catered to, we can get a paradigm shift in agriculture. This is what the world should look forward to. A paradigm shift in agriculture to increase productivity and to increase output, better returns for the farmer, better livelihood, and the coconut tree can head this paradigm shift. Why do I say that? You can plant almost anything under the coconut tree. All crops can be planted under it. If the trees are planted a little further apart, you get various benefits accordingly. Now, not only can you do intercultivation, a small farmer can continue to grow his crops and grow coconut trees on the boundary. There is another phrase which has developed. 10 coconut palms gives financial security to the small farmer. Why do I say this? Because the small farmer has to manage his income, which he gets from his crop once or twice a year. He has to manage that income for the whole year. The small farmer gets a monthly income from the coconut tree, and no other agriculture gives him that. And therefore, it's a solution. So, the second stage, 50 palms gives financial comfort, and 100 palms gives financial freedom to the small farmer. These and all the other things around the coconut tree augur well for the future if there is a focus on the coconut tree, and that paradigm shift in agriculture can take place. I would like to share with you two amazing facts about the coconut. Did you know that it can replace the entire dairy industry? Every dairy product can be made from the coconut: butter, milk, cream, curds, yogurt, everything. Not only that, the dairy industry is considered the second most polluting industry in the world. Global warming gases is what I mean, is the second highest produced from the dairy industry. Whereas a coconut tree, in fact, removes 57 tons of carbon dioxide per hectare per year. Another interesting fact I want to share with you is about sugar. It takes around 3,000 liters of water to produce 1 kilo of cane sugar. And it just takes 200 liters of water for the coconut tree to produce 1 kilo of sugar. Most people don't know that you can get coconut sugar. And did you also know that the coconut tree produces 5 times the quantity of sugar cane does? Well, these are just some of the benefits. There is a controversy around the coconut palm and coconut oil, which was started actually over 60, 70 years ago. Coconut oil was the oil of preference in the USA. There was a lot of research done showing that cholesterol was becoming a big problem. Anselm Keyes, a researcher, produced research that showed in 6 countries how bad cholesterol and heart problems were there because of coconut oil. He failed to show that 19 other countries had been studied, published only 6 countries' report, and the 19 did not have this problem. And then the American Heart Association, the AHA, came out with norms that tropical oils were not so good. This changed the entire thinking of the rest of the world. The tropical oils were banned in place of peanut oil, soybean and maize oil, corn oil, so that those industries could develop in the US. About 40 years ago, a researcher, Dr. Mary Enig, who was a dietitian, came out with her studies of the research of the past and said that actually these tropical oils are very good, and it's the other oils which have made America the coronary capital of the world. And she started the controversy wherein people are beginning to realize that coconut oil is actually good, actually very good, and finally, I must add, cholesterol is not the enemy, but possibly sugars. I look forward to the day when more people will prefer to use coconut oil, be aware of its benefits, not to be afraid of the rumors of the past. And I look forward to the world moving to these oils which are healthier and better. On this World Coconut Day, I hope the government and all those interested in coconut farming will realize the impact it can make, the coconut palm can make against poverty, against increasing food production, in case of revitalizing the entire agricultural activity of farmers. There are so many benefits. The overall health of the nation can be improved. I see a bottle of virgin coconut oil on every breakfast table 20 years from now, because it would really support our good health. Wellness as well. And what about poverty? Its impact on poverty is really amazing. If only our authorities realize this and implement schemes that will make the coconut palm our beneficiary in a very great way. Thank you very much on this September the 2nd, 2021 World Coconut Day.